Hey, Dunawe Ngombe guys, welcome back to another video. Today is the 19th of April 2021. Today is a beautiful cloudish Monday in Windhoek, Namibia. I am of course Mitchell Mutumba Simata, the Induna Ngombe, the cattle headman, the headman of cattle, as you can put it. I want to talk about a breed that I had the luxury of being exposed to when I was still farming. I owned a bull, I owned a couple of cows, maybe one or two of them that I bred, that I farmed with, and they did good work for me. Which is, of course, the Swiss Simmental. As you guys can see, this is the set standard that the Namibian Breeder Society of the Simmental and the Simbra ask for. They say that your bulls have pigmentation around the eyes, your cows also have pigmentation around the eyes. Sometimes they do come in this creamish, gold brownish color, but the set standard, the only set standard that we have for the Simmental is of course this. The pigmentation around the eyes is to avoid illnesses such as eye cancers and pink eye, or illnesses that can be associated with too much sun exposure. So just a bit history on the breed's name. The name Simmental stems from the place where the cattle originally originated from, which is the Sim River Valley in Switzerland. The term for valley in German is Tal, so that's where it gets its name. The most interesting fact that the first Simmental, Namibia is actually the first country in Africa to import Simmental cattle. This was imported in 1893, which was by then the German government that was in charge of Namibia back in the day. And then South Africa followed suit in 1905 by President M.T. Steyn of the Orange Free State, as it was known back then, Bloemfontein currently now. So the Simmental after the Holstein is the most popular breed worldwide due to its triple breeded quantities, which is milk, beef, and being a work animal. As I mentioned, the color can be, all right. Let me use this guy here. As you can see with the color scheme of the breed, it can have this deep brown red color with some white patches on it, or it could be totally red. Sometimes they're cream. But as I mentioned in my past video, that in the United States of America, the Simmentals, they are either red or black. And in Europe, they're creamish color. They're creamish and sometimes light brown. So that's the color. The milkability of this breed, just to speak a bit more on this milk. Okay? The milk production of the cows in Germany and Austria, these animals are milk tested. In these two countries, when these animals were milk tested, they said these animals were producing about 6,500 liters of milk. This is about 4.2% fat and 3.5% protein. When calves, which are male calves from these animals which were being tested, were taken from them. So when sons of these dairy cows that were tested were taken from them and brought to an auction, they said these calves weighed about 600. These male calves weighed about 620. I don't know, should I call them calves or should I call them these male steers? But okay, these male steers weighed about 620 at 17 months. That was a daily weight gain of about 1.3 kilograms. This is in Europe. These are weights in Europe. So when it comes to the breed's weight, you should remember that cattle breed weights are, of course, are also influenced by the condition in the area this animal finds themselves. Just like I said, sometimes the weights in Europe might not reflect the weights of Africa. So I got some numbers for this breed in South Africa. You should remember it's a large to middle frame, but in Namibia, we try to breed more middle frame cattle. We try to focus more on the middle frame because we feel like the middle frame cattle are much more adaptable to various conditions, and also to various conditions, and adjust much more faster than large frame. Large frame cattle might struggle a bit, but these are some numbers that I got. They say due to the environmental conditions, the weight might differ. In South Africa, they said a female Simmental can be 480 kilograms. This is a female, and bulls can be 650 to 950 kilograms. 950 kilograms. So when I mentioned the pigmentation around the eyes, that's a very important thing. The society itself do hammer away on that. They say you need to pick animals with very good pigmentation to avoid eye illnesses. When you are buying a Simmental bull and you are going to buy a Simmental bull from a Simmental breeder, you should inform him that you are probably planning to use this bull in crossbreeding programs with some indigenous cattle. So you inform him that you would want an all-rounder bull. An all-rounder bull, which would mean that you can put it either to your heifers or either to your cows, and you would not experience any birthing problems. So the Simmental back in the day, before the society started encouraging the breeding of middle frame cattle, were not really the best crossbreeding cattle with indigenous cattle, because they were either breaking the cows, or the cows couldn't give birth to the cows couldn't give birth to the calves. You look at Anguni weight is about, they say Anguni birth weight is about 22.5 kilograms, and a Simmental is running at 35 to 40 kilograms. It's a huge difference, and that could sometimes cause birthing problems. So when you are buying a bull, a Simmental bull, it's best for you to ask the breeder himself, the owner of the animals, to give you a bull with a low birthing weight, or to give you a bull that is an all-rounder, because you want to put it both on your cows and your heifers, to avoid this. Simmental animals are very easy to work with, very calm nature. They're not really aggressive, they're not really difficult. I remember when I was working with mine, one person could move a herd of about 10 Simmentals from one camp to another without any having to scream. You'd be screaming to get them to walk, but you'd not have to be running to stop this one from trying to scatter that way or scatter this way. They walk in a line and they'd walk together, with little headaches and little sweating. But you still need to be alert. Of course, it's cattle. Some days they could decide they don't want, particularly if the grass is green, they are problematic. But they're very easy to work with and easy to manage. This is the plus. This is a big positive beside the meat and the milk. This is another big positive for the breed. But that doesn't mean that when the cow has a calf, you go and try anything funny, because she has a newborn calf. They are overprotective. They are very overprotective of their calves, and you could end up getting hurt if you try anything funny. So do not try anything funny when dealing with this breed, when it has a calf. Sometimes, because of their calm nature, and also depending on the farmer, if you really work towards making them so calm that every time you enter the kraal they come for a scratch, and because of that, making them too accustomed to human beings at an early age, they sometimes become so calm, like a pet, like let's say your dog or a cat, that they require attention. And if you are farming in an area where stock theft happens, that could be a big no-no for you, because you do not want an animal that is, you do want an animal that is easy to work with, but that is not too calm, because you have stock theft. You want it to, when people are trying something funny with it, that it does try to run away and escape, rather than when people come and they try to steal it, it doesn't really put up a fight. It just agrees and get into the truck. You want to avoid that. There was a problem that I had with the two Simmental cows I had. With the bull, I changed it a bit. I made sure that it's at the point of, it allows you to enter the kraal, it allows you to put licks and whatever, it allows you to open the tap for it to drink water. But what it doesn't allow you is to try and hug it, scratch it, take pictures with it, all the type of funny things. I avoided doing that with my bull and my cows, is to make them still very alert, to be able to, if the situation is uncomfortable, they do run away. You should also remember the disadvantage of the Simmental's large frame could also lead to some birthing problems, whether you're crossbreeding with some indigenous cattle. Also, sometimes with its own purebred, it could lead to some birthing problems. And this is why I'm saying, if you're buying a bull, a Simmental bull, and you want to put it amongst your cows, you need to be able to tell the breeder you want an all-rounder, or you're looking for a bull that has a very low birthing weight, is to avoid calving problems within your animals, whether it's older cows or matured cows or young or first-time mothers. You want to avoid all that. Another disadvantage of the breed was, because of its size also, it is a breed that requires larger pastures, bigger farms to be able to be farmed with. And I believe that over the years has been changed, because as I mentioned, with the society here in Namibia, they have been working hard towards breeding more middle frame, easy adaptable animals, compared to having the large big frame animals, even though the large big frame animals, when they are slaughtered, get better weight. But it's all about adaptability. As I mentioned, Namibia's climatic condition is sometimes we get good rain, sometimes it's dry. So we got sub-Sahara type of climatic conditions, Our conditions differ from place to place. So the society itself have put it out there and have what do you call this, have voted a resolution to say they're going to start breeding small frame animals, is because with the small frame, I mean not small frame, middle frame, sorry, middle frame animals, because of that middle frame means that they are able to adjust easier to different type of grazing conditions, and to actually reduce that reduce that need for the breed to have larger piece of land to be able to be farmed with, because as I said, some communal areas are quite small and you do not have the luxury of having 700 hectares, 7,500 hectares. You do not have that luxury. Sometimes you have a smaller piece of land, so you need it to be able to perform in a smaller piece of grazing and the type of grazing that is there. So that is something that the Simmental and Simbra Society have worked towards introducing within their breed of cattle. So that is my experience with the Swedish, the Swiss, like Swiss chocolate, the Swiss Simmental. As I mentioned, it is a breed today that is farmed worldwide. Here in Namibia, it's used for mostly meat. We don't really put them to work. We don't really plow with them. But it's mostly used for meat purposes. It's also used in crossbreeding purposes. I've seen some people, as I mentioned, the Simmental Brahman cross, which is the Simbra, the Simmental Afrikaner cross, which is the Afrigus. Afrism. And it is also, Afrism. So it is also used in various crossing programs with other indigenous breeds of cattle, as to improve probably their milk and meat quality. So that is my 2 cents on Simmental cattle. As I said, if you're going to decide you want to buy a Simmental cattle, you're going to buy a Simmental bull, and you want to farm it in your communal area, it's always good to try and buy bulls from within your area. If no one is farming Simmental cattle, but the region or you are maybe in the communal area and you want to buy Simmental bulls, it would be nice for you to probably go buy Simmental bulls in the Grootfontein or Tavi area, because of the conditions which are similar to the Kavango and the Zambezi region. The conditions are almost similar, so they might not really struggle when they get there. So tend to avoid to buy bulls from an area like the Omaheke, which might be hot and dry, and you are farming in a hot and wet environment. The animal might struggle. As I said, you want smooth-coated. You want smooth-coated bulls such as this bad boy here from Mr. Casper, smooth-coated bull, which means you can spot ticks easily and dip him, rather than buying a hairy bull and you take it to an area where ticks are a problem, and those ticks are within the fur and you can't see them. All you are seeing is your bull getting ill. So still do your inoculations, guys. Still do your inoculations. Yeah, as I said, it's a very good bull. It's a very good breed of cattle to work with. It's a very easy to manage breed of cattle. It's resistant to most diseases. It's tolerant to most diseases. You'd still need to do your vaccinations. Good birthing and good weaning weight. And also, another thing before I forget, when you are purchasing Simmental cows, ask the breeder if you're purchasing commercial cows that none of them come from a bloodline where they have bottle teat syndrome within their genetics, because that bottle teat syndrome is a problem. It's sometimes the reason why the calf can't really get any milk from the mom. You might have to milk down the tit so the calf can just be able to suckle. So you want to avoid cows that have bottle teat syndrome. It's a good thing because they produce a lot of milk, but it's a bad thing for your production line. You might lose calves to that because they can't suckle. They might die. And also try to select bulls with low birthing weight, or select bulls which are all-rounders. So those are my 2 cents on this breed, my experience that I had with this breed when I was working with it. If you guys enjoy this content, once again, I want to ask you guys to like the video, subscribe to the page, switch on your bell icon on YouTube there, so you're notified when I do future uploads. And that is my 2 cents. I would be reading the comments there to hear what you guys say about this breed. If you guys have had any experience working with Simmental, have you ever found Simmental cattle? I'd be looking forward to hear what your experiences are and how it went for you. Was it a positive? Was it a negative thing? For now, guys, I wish you guys to enjoy the further. Sorry, not so wish. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. And for now, guys, I salute you. Enjoy the day. Bye for now.